So, I'm sorry for being a little late. I was talking to the mayoress. I bow to all the seekers of truth. But before we start talking of truth, we have to know that truth is to be achieved in your awareness. It is not a mental projection that I say this is truth, that is truth, but is to be achieved in the human awareness. As they say in Sanskrit, Chetana. In your awareness, you should know the truth. Like you see me now here standing before you. You know fully well that I am here, that I have a shawl on. You can see it. You can feel it. I am here before you as truth because your central nervous system relates to you that I am here. And the truth is like that. Truth has to be felt in your awareness. It is not just somebody giving you a lecture or reading it out from a book or saying this is truth, this is truth. The time has come for human beings that they are not going to accept anything like that. You may accept, but your children will not. And their children will never accept such a thing. So something has to happen to our awareness. That means at this stage where we are, at this stage when we are called as human beings, we have not felt the truth. We have not seen the truth. We are not the truth. That one position one has to accept. If you believe that this is the truth because it is in Ramayana or in some book or that book, then be sure that that truth is nothing but your mental projection. Is not the truth which is reality. So we are not to live with something fantasy or something that is not what we can feel through our central nervous system. So when I talk that the seekers of truth, and I bow to you, I mean to say people who will be honest about it. Those who are not honest, who are just clinging on to certain ideas, are fanatic and think that this is the truth, then I cannot help you. I can just say that come inside, within yourself is placed the truth. And just find it out for yourself because it is your own, it is within you. It is your own, it is within you. Only thing, you have to see it yourself and feel it yourself. The rest of it, the way people have all kinds of things about truth, is something that I feel all the honest people should completely deny. When we became human beings, say, we didn't do anything about it. We just became human beings. It's a simple thing. We did not stand on our heads or we didn't do anything to become more human and less monkeys. It just happened spontaneously. So one has to understand that our evolution has come through a living process and through the living energy of God. God who is living and not a dead thing that can just give you some ideas and you cling to it which are dead. So the spontaneity of life has to work it out within you. That kind of awareness which makes you higher than what you are. At this stage as human beings, whatever we understand about life, whatever we know about life as truth, maybe, may not be truth. Let's keep it open as that. It may be, may not be. For example, if I tell you something about a country which you have never visited, it may be, may not be. Better go to the country and see for yourself. And that's what one has to do, is to place yourself in such a way, let us see. Keep your minds open to see what is the truth about yourself. Now this truth has been told by many great sages, by prophets and many incarnations who came on earth. As we know, Christ has said about it, Nanaka has said about it, Kabira has said, Lao Tse has said, Buddha has said, everyone has said one thing, which is people, which I should say people neglect and are not bothered about it. And a simple thing is that you have to have your second birth. You have to know yourself. You have to have self-realization. This, every one of them have said it. Instead of that, we are building up something which doesn't lead us there. Take us to that land if somebody says, you just don't do that. You see, it's just an imaginary thing if I say, all right, now close your eyes, off we go to the kingdom of God. It's not that way. Something has to happen in your awareness. Means whatever you are feeling now, you should feel something more than that. You have to become something more. You have to expand more. And that expansion has to come not through just giving you a lecture or talking to you, but by something happening within yourself. As a seed has to become the tree, it has to sprout. As the egg has to become a bird, it has to grow, and then the transformation takes place. In the same way, the truth has to come to you. So what should happen? If the truth has to come, you can't pay for it, you cannot put in any effort. But what should happen when the truth comes? When the truth comes, then you see things in a different way. You are transformed. You are to be transformed. If you are one with the truth, how could you live with falsehood anymore? It's as simple as that. It's a very simple thing. And you know, all living processes are the simplest ones. There's no complication about it. You see, people have made theories and theories, and when I saw them, I was amazed. Now, what all these mountains these people have created for what? Why to climb all these mountains? It's very simple. See, any living process is so simple. Like you breathe, you don't go to books, do you? Or do you consult anybody for that? You just breathe. Do you know this amazing eye that God has made? It has so much in it that all these cameras put together cannot make one eye. And He's made such a great eye within us. And this one that is made has been made through this spontaneous process. Is not done by our own doing at all. It is done spontaneously. So within us is built in, just like in a seed. All the maps of that seed, which it's going to be, whatever trees it is going to be, whatever things it is going to be, is inside that little seed. It is within us. And it is so simple that you have to just put it to the Mother Earth and the seed sprouts. But if you try to read books, it won't. If you try to operate, it won't. If you try to stand on head, it won't. You have to put it to the Mother Earth. Because Mother Earth has the capacity. Is the quality of Mother Earth is such that she knows her job and she can do it. So the simple things are made so difficult that as if to achieve your self-realization must be something you have to waste ages and ages and ages and then you do it. It has to be a simple thing. Anybody who tells you that Kundalini awakening or Kundalini is a dangerous thing, please beware of such people. Because they are naive or they are unauthorized, they may be unholy people, they want to make money out of it. Kundalini is your own mother. She is your own mother. All the time sticking to you. Means it's an individual mother. Everybody has an individual mother within themselves. And this individual mother gives you this realization, as you will see here in that chart, the sacrum bone is the Kundalini. And this force within us is the residual power. Why? Because it has not yet manifested. It has created the whole thing, but it has not yet manifested. And what is this power? This power is the ultimate desire to be one with the all-pervading divine. It is said there is all-pervading power all around and that it does everything. The rest is all falsehood. It's only this all-pervading power which achieves everything. For example, the flowers become the fruits. Billions and billions of them. All the time, so many living things are happening. But we just take them for granted. But they say it is done through this all-pervading power. So when this last thing happens, that you become self, when you become that, then only you can feel this all-pervading power as cool breeze around. Now there are people who come round and say, why should we seek? There are some people who say so. But there are a special category of people who are born in the modern times. They are a very special category. Those who are seekers, who are not yet satisfied with what they have been doing. They are seekers and seekers of the truth. They are definitely a different category which is not born so many before. They are a special category of people. As William Blake has called them as men of God, will be born in those days and they will become prophets. And they will have power to make others prophets. That's what is the time today. And that's why we find so many seekers today all over the world. Of course, as you know, the seekers are misled, exploited, tortured. They have done all kinds of things to them. But still, the seeker remains a seeker. And if he is a seeker, he must find the truth. The time has come for him to find the truth. Within us lies this special power, as I told you, called as Kundalini. Now, this Kundalini is there or not, whether it exists or not, or whether I'm telling you a story or some sort of an imaginary thing. One has to come to right conclusions about things. First of all, you should not accept me blindfolded. Blind faith has no place in Sahaja Yoga. No faith at all. No, we have no faith in people who have blind faith. Because you must come to right conclusion, first of all. As we have now come to a conclusion that it has to be spontaneous happening, a living happening, and it cannot be worked out by us, but the divine has to work it out. If it is a living process, if evolution is a living process, if you have to jump to that higher awareness, then it is the living force which is going to work it out, and if it is so, we cannot do it. Human beings can only do dead work. You can see that. If a tree is dead, you can make it into a chair. But can you make a flower into a fruit? We cannot. It's the living force that does it. In the same way, if anything has to happen to us, it should be spontaneous, for which, as I told you, you cannot pay, you cannot exert yourself, you cannot demand it. Whenever it has to happen, it happens. So first we have to come to right conclusions about things. Secondly, as I told you, you cannot have blind faith about it, about anything. Keep yourself open. You should not deny it. Keep yourself open, because you are seekers of ages. You have been seeking the truth for ages now. So keep yourself open. Just don't deny it. Because you follow certain cult or certain things, you should not. Because so far you have not found it. If you have not found it, you must keep yourself open to receive. If it is truth, should happen something to you in your own awareness. So when this Kundalini is there, she is sleeping because she has not yet manifested. She is in 3.5 coil. As I said, you should not take me for granted. But if it is proved later on, you can see it for yourself. Everything can be proved. The time has come to prove all the scriptures, to prove that you are the spirit, that you are the instrument of God, that you are a collective being. The time has come. And so you have to see for yourself how this Kundalini acts. Now you will find in many people, when there is an obstruction, the Kundalini doesn't rise and there is a big pulsation in the triangular bone. So we reach the third conclusion, that whatever we can do, like we can jump, we can shout, we can say a mantra, we can do all kinds of things, but we cannot make this triangular bone pulsate, can we? So it is done by divine. Then we can see the rising of the Kundalini. With the stethoscope you can hear it. Passing through these centers, it comes up here. And when it reaches there, at the top of the head, you can feel the lap-dup of a heart. As Kabira has said it, Shunya Shikhara Para Anahada Bajiri. He has said that at the top of your head, you can feel Anahada. Anahada is the sound of the heart. You can feel it. But, even the Sikhs, you see, they do not know that it should happen. It's everyone. Everyone has said the same thing. But it is to happen. And that once happens there, then suddenly you find that stops. And when it stops, you find a cool breeze coming out of your head. That's called as Chaitanya Lahari. That's called as the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost. There's no difference in what Christ has preached or these people have preached. There's no difference. Only thing, there is no proper translation. There's no proper understanding of all these things, that they all have said the same thing, because truth is the same. How can there be two truths? Truth is the same. And you feel the cool breeze coming out of here. When John the Baptist talked about baptism, he meant this. He didn't mean the way we do baptism, just call somebody, put some water on the head and say, oh, now you're baptized. That's just a drama. You can see it so clearly. Anybody who's thinking can see it's just a drama to say that you are baptized. Baptism is a living process. And in that you must see this germinating power within you that rises up and gives you this self-realization. It should happen to you in a way that you should feel it. You should feel the cool breeze in the hand. You should feel this thing within you, first of all. Now, once you have got this, then you will be amazed that you will become absolutely peaceful. Within you, you will feel absolutely peaceful. And you will feel relaxed, as if you have sold the horses. Or you can say, as if the drama is over. You will become like a witness. The whole thing will start looking like a witness, that you are watching the drama. There's nothing serious about it. What is there to be worried? You see, all the detachment starts there, that you are in it and you are away from it. Like you start seeing everything just as a drama. You are not bothered. You are not ruffled. You are not concerned about what's this all seriousness going on about. You achieve that joy within yourself which flows all the time, the beauty of God's love. And that's what one has to achieve. That achievement is not done through your effort. That is the effort of the divine. Is God Almighty Himself has to do it. Otherwise, His creation will be ruined. He has created us. And jolly well, He has to do it. Let's put it that way. Because if He has created the whole universe, and in that universe, if human beings are going to be destroyed, then one should know that it is God's own creation will be destroyed. His own doings will be destroyed. And it is He who is so anxious that you get your self-realization. There are so many objections raised and so many people ask me questions, all kinds. And some people also asked me a question saying that, how is it, Mother, it's so difficult? They say so that you have to work for thousands of years to get to realization. That may have been, but not today. That's not the situation today. It works out spontaneously in a split of a second. No doubt about it. In a split of a second, it should work out. But actually what happens? We are very complicated people. All these centers are in complication. Our Kundalini is in complication. All these complications are there. We are sick people. We have mental sickness. We have physical sickness. We have other social sicknesses. So many types of sicknesses we have. And that's how the Kundalini, though she wants to give you realization, though she wants to rise, she wants to give you this, but she finds it difficult. And then we have to work out. Somebody who knows the job has to work it out, raise it up, and bring it there and give you the realization. And then you have to learn how to maintain it. So that you have to know all the things, what are these centers are, and what are they, and why the Kundalini is down, and why we are feeling it. What's your problem? Because you start facing it. Actually, it is such a truthful thing that it works on your fingers. Just to feel it on your fingers, yourself and others. Muhammad Sahib has said clearly, at the time of resurrection, your hands will speak. Your hands start speaking. That you feel which is catching, what is catching. You know yourself and you know others. But when you know that, you don't feel bad. You don't feel bad. For example, if I tell somebody you have an ego, then I'm not safe at all. But when you get realization, you start seeing your Mr. Ego coming up like a balloon on your head, and you get such a fright that you just come and say, Mother, this finger is catching very badly. My ego, please save me from this big ego of mine. And then you know how to correct the ego. Also, you must know that this is the technique. So the word sahaja means, saha means with, and ja means born. It is born with you, it's spontaneous. It's born with you, as your eyes are with you. This yoga, this union is born with you, is with you. Just it has to activate. It is within you. It's your own. It's your own thing which happens to you because you deserve it. The time has come. That's why you get it. And this Sahaja Yoga, the communion with the divine, is your birthright as a human being to have it. Every one of you should get it. That has to happen. So millions and millions of people should have to have it. And this happening has to take place. Because if this whole world is on the verge of collapse, something has to happen to transform the human beings. For the emancipation of human beings, something has to work out. And that is what it is, the God's desire, that we all should, as far as possible, get our realization, become ourselves, and know all our powers, what we are. Actually, in reality, we are very beautiful. We are extremely beautiful. We are extremely blissful. We are collective beings. But with all the social problems and all that, especially in the West, I find people feel guilty for nothing at all. There's nothing to feel guilty because your Father is compassion, is ocean of compassion, is ocean of love, His ocean of forgiveness. He's so great that these little bit things we do here and there should not upset you at all. There's nothing to upset you. And this is what it is that we have to believe into, that if you are going to get your realization, first of all, you are not to be guilty. You have to enter into your own freedom, the complete freedom, the supreme freedom. At that time, you are free to choose. You have to be absolutely free. I cannot entice you, somebody mesmerizes you or binds you by something. Such a person cannot give you realization. You have to be absolutely free. I must respect your freedom. Apart from that, when this happening takes place, you should know what exactly it is, whether it is the reality or not, whether it is working out or not. For example, we have within us other planes which we do not know, unknown planes to us. For example, in this thing you can see there's a left side and a right side sympathetic nervous system, and the central is the parasympathetic. But this is the subtle side of that. On the left-hand side, we can say within us lies our subconscious, and then lies the collective subconscious. This whole area is called in Sanskrit as Adi Bhautik. It's the one that has happened before, since our creation. I was surprised. I saw once a program in television in England by some doctors who showed the cause of cancer is because there's some sort of proteins, they called it protein 58 and protein 52, which triggers this happening of cancer within us. And when this thing happens to us, we do not know what to do because this agent, this special protein that enters into us comes from some unknown areas, which they call it, which is built within us since our creation. I call it as collective subconscious. Whatever is dead is on that side. So they are actually talking of possession or a possession of a dead spirit or something. That means that such a thing enters into our being and triggers cancer. Now this I've been telling them for so many years now, but now as it is according to their own understanding they have stated, because they are very honest and they don't say that we know about this area, but that area exists on this side. As a result or manifestation of this area, supposing you are too much trying, oh God, help me do this, you can get possessed. Because you are not yet connected with God. And once you get possessed, means somebody, some other spirit can come into you. And such a spirit, when it comes into you, it can really make you mad. It can really make you feel like jumping, singing, or shouting, or screaming. These are not the signs of self-realized people. They are very sane, balanced, beautiful people. How can they be mad people jumping all over or grabbing others and being angry and being a very volatile? They cannot be. They have to be very sane, sanest of sane, most balanced people. So this kind of thing happens to people who go onto the left-hand side. It can happen in so many ways. And moreover, these people afterwards starts getting all kinds of problems like epilepsy they can get. They can also get another problem. We can say that they get pains all over, they feel very guilty all the time, crying, weeping, because left side is the emotional side. There's another side to us, which is called as Adi Daivi, and is the right side, we call it as collective supraconscious. This is the side which is the future. When we indulge too much into future, you see, we go too much into future and plan too much and we are aggressive about it, then there is a built-in process within us which is called supraconscious, means all those ambitious people who lived in the future are there. Hitler used this power. Hitler used this power to entice people. And he was one of the greatest right-handed person, I would say, that the way he used it to enforce this on the people, to say that we are something great race, we are a higher race and all that. And by that he influenced other people, because he used these people who are dead on the right-hand side, means supraconscious people. And when they jumped on them, they also started becoming ambitious and absolutely heartless people. They were so heartless, you can't imagine. If you read the life of some of these people, they were not so heartless to begin with. They were not. They were good people, sweet people, affectionate people, they were good children. And suddenly, how do they become so devilish and so destructive? The thing is, they are no more there. There's something else acting. Such people can become dynamic for the time being, may look dynamic, but afterwards it is too much a load to carry. Then again they also become like cabbages, like the other side people do. Drugs have the same effects. Drugs can be right-sided or left-sided, but we can say LSD and all these drugs take you to the right, where you see the auras and things like that. And the left-sided stuff is like other hashish and all these drugs, which make you feel miserable afterwards. You laugh, and then you become emotional and sort of things, you see. All those things are imaginary, or they are not reality. Reality is in the center, is absolutely in the center, in the present. We live either in the past or in the future. A thought rises within us and falls off. Another thought rises within us and falls off. But we have to be in the center, and that is the present. And if I just tell you be in the present, you cannot be. Something has to happen within us to keep you in the present. And that happening is this Kundalini awakening. Now, what is the spirit? Also, that is, I will tell you in short, because tomorrow I'm going to tell you in details about the centers and their manifestation. But today I would like to tell you about the spirit, about which people have told that there is a spirit within us. Now, spirit is the reflection of God Almighty within us, which resides in the heart, actually. But the seat of the spirit is here on top of your head, where the fontanelle bone area is. But it resides in the heart. Now, this spirit is the collective being. It is the collective being, meaning that you don't have to tell the spirit that we are all one. When you become the spirit, you just start feeling they are the one. Like there's nobody is the other. Like some people say, Mother, when you try to help others and cure others and do this and that, then do you think you are obliging them? I said, how? There's no other for me. They are all within myself. Who is the other? I don't know. I don't see anybody as the other. If they are helped, it is because I feel they are within myself. And that's what happens, that you become collectively conscious. That means in your central nervous system, you start feeling others and yourself. You become, again I say, is the becoming, is not talking, is not mental projection, is the becoming. The being becomes. And when the being becomes that, he gets this experience of understanding that there is an energy flowing through us, and this is the energy of the spirit that flows through you. So you get sanctified. You get the energy within you. You become the energy. Then you start manifesting the energy of your spirit. And when you start manifesting that energy, then you do it as a collective being. It just flows. You don't have to do anything, it just flows. You don't have to say, oh, come along, you stand on your head or do anything. It just flows. Even if you touch somebody, it can flow. It can cure people. It's not only curing that's important. It's just a byproduct. Actually, when Kundalini rises, she integrates you, all the centers. She gives you physical, mental and emotional peace and their integration. And also, she gives you power to understand what she is like, what she's doing, and how to manifest in other people. She gives you power to give realization to others. It is too fantastic to believe. I know it is too fantastic. But is it not fantastic that we have become human beings from amoeba? We take that for granted. If the time has come to become that, let's have it. What's the harm, even if it is fantastic? After all, you have reached the moon, isn't it? So you can reach the spirit also, and should happen en masse. It has to happen to all of you. Today is the first day. I've just given you the introduction to the subject because I would like to know your questions. I hope you'll ask sensible questions to me, which will help everybody else. I find it's something sometimes very surprising, the way people ask questions. It doesn't help them, neither help anybody else, because they're not civil to other people. They just want to propound their ideas on other people is wrong. I think you have to be civil. Now we are talking about Kundalini awakening and about self-realization. So you need not tell me somebody wrote like that and somebody wrote like that. Let's have it. I'm saying it's an open thing. Let's have it with open mind. And so I hope you won't waste the time of other people, because today I would like to try also the experiment of realization with you. So you will give me more time for that, which is more important than talking about it. As far as talking is concerned, I've been talking and talking. In England, I think there are about 1,000 lectures I've given, and all over the world I've been talking every day. So it makes no difference. It's what happens to you is the most important thing. And I'm sure it should happen to all of you, and that you should get your self-realization and establish into it. So that this new awareness, which is the awareness of your spirit, should come to change the whole world. Thank you very much. May God bless you. Can I have a questions from you? Yes, please.
Can you tell me exactly what the relationship is between the Christ and the Spirit?
He is the spirit.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thought so.
But Christ is not under contract with anyone.
Oh, all right.
All right?
Yeah,
Can this awareness help me to help somebody who's very, very ill?
Yes, of course it will. Of course. No doubt. Yes. Not only one, but many. Of course, it will. Definitely. No doubt. Yes, please.
Is there any way
Loudly, please.
Is there any way we can hold this awareness? Can you give us any clue as to hold on to it after we've left?
What is this?
How can we hold on to realization afterwards? How can we hold on to realization after we've got it?
Yes. Luckily, you have a center in Bedford where people will tell you all about it. Thank God I have come to Bedford after a long time. I started with 7 people in England for 4 years. Can you imagine? I had only 4 people, 7 people, and this was a big struggle, you see, to get them there. But once it started off, now we have many people. In Bedford, we have a center where you can go and meet people and they can tell you. And we have also very near here, Cambridge and other places where we have such centers. In London, we have now 2 good ashrams where people are working it out. So in England, I must say there's no such problem. And you can also write to me. I'm also in England these days, for at least some time, I hope so. Such nice people. Any more questions? Yes, my child?
Why is it that ill luck follows some people all the time?
What is it?
Ill luck, bad luck follows some people wherever they go.
It has a meaning. It is so. Ill luck comes by many things, you see. But once you are realized, then I would say the angels help you. Really, you won't believe. Just you get over ill luck. It's a very different situation. At least there are many people who will say that, who are here, who are realized souls. They'll say that how they are helped by God. But our idea of luck changes by that. Very much. Like we don't want to be like a millionaire or anything. We get satisfied. Temperament. And also, of course, other things like material and all that is solved. Lots of it. Lots of it is solved. No problem. But, first of all, you should be the citizen of God's kingdom, isn't it? Then He looks after you.
Can't be avoided, can it?
Beg pardon?
Can't be avoided.
It says, can we avoid ill luck?
Can be?
Avoid.
Avoid. What?
Ill luck, bad luck.
Oh, you don't have to. It's looked after. You are looked after. Krishna has said, Yoga Kshema Vahamyam. That you first get your yoga, first you get your realization, and then I look after your well-being. He said it clearly. Yes. So you are not looked after as yet, as it should be. The divine looks after you so well, you can't imagine. You are completely under the care of the divine. It's true. But sometimes I don't say, in my first lecture, people think it's a false story, so I don't tell them. But it is true. It works out. There must be some reason for ill luck, and that you'll find out very soon after realization. It's like light, you see. Supposing you're walking and you fall down and falter because it is dark, you can't see anything. But when there is light, you can see, you can avoid it, isn't it?
How come some people are foresight? They can always foresee the future.
What's it?
Foresight.
How is it some people can foresee the future? Foresee the future.
Anything is going to happen, you see it in advance. It's in a dream or some kind of vision. I do.
But you see, one can see it if you are on the futuristic side. If you are on the futuristic side, but you should be in the center. What is the future? It doesn't exist. One should not bother about the future, you should see about the present. That's the best. If you see the future is not good, you should see the present. You should be in the present, because present is real and dynamic.
But the future comes up. Why?
It comes because your movement is on the right hand side. Maybe you think of the future too much. We'll find out now. We'll find out. It's easy to find out. If somebody is a very futuristic person, he may forget all the past, he may forget even his name, but he might see something of the future. It's not a normal behavior then. You see more of the future and nothing of the present. All right? Some people see auras, lights. That's not important. That's not important at all. Seeing is not important, becoming is important. क्या पूछना? हिंदी में पूछिए. जरूर पूछिए. क्या पूछ रहे हैं? जरा जोर से उठ के खड़े बोलिए, खड़े होके बताइए, मुझे सुनाई नहीं देगा. कहिए. हिंदी में बात करें. आप लोग कुछ अंग्रेजी नहीं सीखे क्या? हाँ, उतना ही समय हो जाएगा, नहीं तो मैं जरूर बता दूंगी हिंदी में भी. आप अगर जानना चाहें तो हिंदी में भी बता सकती हूँ. आप यहाँ आइए, बताइए मुझे क्या बात है. आइए, कहिए, हिंदी में कहिए.
हमारे बच्चे थे, हमारे
हाँ,
पास में रहते हैं.
क्या करें?
हमारे बच्चे
हाँ,
हमारे पास ही रहते हैं.
वो तो सिखाएंगे आपको सब काम. अच्छा, वो तो इस देश की हवा है, उसे क्या करिए. आप इस देश में आए, इस देश की हवा के बच्चे रहते नहीं ना काबू में. यहाँ तो सबके बच्चे भागे रहे, लेकिन बच्चों को ले आइए, सहयोग में फिर ठीक करेंगे. रोने की कोई बात नहीं. अच्छा, आप ये पा लीजिए, पाने के बाद देखिए सब बच्चे पास में आएंगे. अच्छा. She has a problem. She says, my children don't listen to me. I said, that's this country. You can't help it. You see, when you have come to this country, you have to face the atmosphere also. But after realization, there's a beautiful relationship that exists. Extremely beautiful. All right? Is it sufficient? Should we have? Because first day I'll take some more time to because I'll go around and see all of you. Is it all right now? Should we start it? It's a very simple thing. There's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing goes wrong. Everything is perfect. You just have to put your hands just like this towards me. Just like that. And put your feet on the ground. We have asked you to remove your shoes for one reason. Because the Mother Earth helps us a lot. Just. So sit down comfortably. Put your hands like this. Now, I would say that you should not disturb others while we are meditating and all that. It will just take little time to do that. It's just a split of a second, as I said. But normally it doesn't happen in that short time. Whatever it is, that we'll work it out. And we have to see that we work it out today and tomorrow. But we must have patience with ourselves. That's very important. Because I may have lots of patience, but you must also have patience with yourself. And when it works out, then you will definitely feel the cool breeze in your hand, no doubt. If it doesn't work out today, it will work out tomorrow or day after. I am here now in London for some time. So there's nothing to get impatient or worried about it. Just don't worry. Just let it happen within you. You just put your hands towards me like this. And I would say before closing your eyes, you see that there's nothing hanging in your neck very heavy or something tight here. Or you can little loose your knots. It would be better because the Kundalini has to rise. So if you have anything heavy, anything in the neck, कुछ आप गले में कुछ बहुत भारी भारी पहने हो तो उसको निकाल लीजिए, जेब में रख लीजिए और दोनों हाथ हमारी ओर इस तरह से आप करिए. You have to keep your eyes closed. If you keep your eyes closed, it will help me a lot because the Kundalini has to rise above this center, and if your eyes are not closed, it doesn't rise. So I would request you to keep your eyes shut till I tell you. And don't worry about others. Don't worry about others. You have to worry about yourself. आप दूसरों का ख्याल मत करिए, अपने तरफ देखिए. अब अपने को चीनना है. कहे नानक बिन आपा चीने मिटे न भ्रम की काई. आपा को चीनना है. जब आपा को चीनना है तो दूसरों का ख्याल, आप बच्चों का ख्याल 2 मिनट छोड़ दीजिए. परमात्मा का ख्याल करिए. थोड़ी देर के लिए आप अपना ख्याल करिए और परमात्मा का ख्याल करिए. और ये जरूर होगा, सबके साथ होने का है और सबके साथ हुआ है, आपके साथ भी होगा. जिसे सबने बताया है कि अपने को पाना है, वही चीज होने वाली. आई एम जस्ट टॉकिंग फॉर देम बिकॉज दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड ऑल ऑफ देम इंग्लिश सो वेल. प्लीज पुट योर हैंड्स टुवर्ड्स मी, जस्ट स्ट्रेट. और आंख बंद रखिए, आंख मत खोलिएगा, किसी भी हालत में आंख नहीं खोलिएगा, कोई तकलीफ नहीं होगी. Stretch both the hands towards me directly. Be relaxed. Put it on the lap. There's no need to put it straight. Separately, put them straight, stretching the fingers towards me. Stretch the fingers a little bit. Please keep your eyes shut. That's very important to help others and help yourself. Please keep your eyes shut. Now, don't open your eyes. Please don't open. आंखें मत खोलिए अभी भी. Please put your right hand on your heart. Right hand on the left hand side, that is your heart. And in your heart, sincerely and honestly, you ask a question to me saying, Mother, am I the spirit? Just ask a question. Mother, am I the spirit? आप अपना राइट हैंड जो है वो अपने दिल पे रखिए और एक सवाल पूछें कि माँ क्या मैं आत्मा हूं? दाहिना हाथ, अपना दाहिना हाथ आप दिल पर रखें और सच्चाई से पूछें कि क्या मैं आत्मा हूं? Now raise this hand above at the base of your neck where there's another center which is caught up because you feel guilty. So just say, Mother, I'm not guilty. Please say it 16 times. You better say that, Mother, I'm not guilty. अपना दाहिना हाथ गर्दन के बाईं ओर रखें और बार बार कहें कि माँ हम किसी चीज के दोषी नहीं हैं. Now, if you have said it 16 times, 16 मर्तबा कहिए. Raise this right hand now across your forehead and put it there on the forehead and just say that I forgive everyone. Mother, I forgive everyone. Just forgive everyone. That's very important because it's a pressure. It's a pressure on your mind when you have not forgiven people. Just say, I forgive. Keep the left hand towards me as it was, but say, Mother, I forgive everyone. First of all, forgive yourself. That's the most important thing. I forgive everyone. फिर से दाहिना हाथ सर पे रख के कहें कि माँ मैं सबको माफ करता हूं. बार बार कहिए सबको माफ करता हूं. Raise this hand above your head now. Now I can't go across your freedom. So you have to say, Mother, I want my realization. Please give me realization. You have to ask for it. I just can't do it. I cannot cross your freedom. You have to ask yourself. Otherwise, I can't just do it. Now, just see if there's a cool breeze coming in. Say it 7 times. Raise your hand higher. And just see if there's a cool breeze coming in your head. Better. Now, if your hand is tired, put right hand down and put the left hand on top. And see if the cool breeze is coming. Just move your hand up and down. Like this. Up and down across the head. Not higher and lower, but forward and backwards. Just see. Slowly, slowly, just to see. At the fontanelle bone area. Good. ठंडी हवा आ रही हो सर, देखिए कि बीचों बीच जहाँ पे तालू अपना होता है उस जगह देखिए तालू पर ठंडी सी हवा अंदर से निकलेगी. यही कुंडलिनी का ऊपर आना हुआ. गुड. You can open your eyes, put your hands towards me again, and I'll tell you how to raise your own kundalini. Right? Did you feel it? Some of you did. Now, we'll see another one that we can try. You can raise your own kundalini. Now, this hand, as I said, is the power of desire. So we put our left hand in front of our kundalini like this, and the right hand is the action one. You have to move it clockwise like that. Now, you have to move the right hand across the left hand and raise your left hand very, very slowly. Bring it slowly, slowly upward. Just move it very slowly. I hope you understand. Like this, upward, downward, down. Now, this will increase the flow. Now, put it on your head and give it a little twist, and just put a knot there. Bring it down. Try it. Once more, just try. Like this. Right. With the going up, down, like that. Take it upward on your head. Now, give it a twist like this. And now, you give it a knot. Put it down. Once more. Carefully see that the hand should go forward, downward, backward, upward. Alright? Now, let's do it again. This time, thrice you have to give a knot. Be careful. Just doing it. It's very important because this is your own power, as I said, and you act on your own power. Now, take it upward. Just take it upward on top of your head again. Now, you have to give 3 knots. Put a twist, nice one. 1. Again a twist, and 2. Again a twist, and 3. Now put your hands straight. Just put your hands straight. Put your feet both on the ground. And see now. Is it better? Feeling it? It's very subtle. It's very subtle. सूक्ष्म है, इसलिए हल्के हल्के देखिए. आ रहा है हाथ में ठंडक से? आ रही क्या हाथ में ठंडा? आ रहा है? आप क्या आ रहा? हिंदुस्तानियों का आता भी जाता और जाता भी जल्दी. इसमें जमना पड़ता है, बैठक होनी चाहिए, तब बनता है. I'm just saying Indians get it very fast, you see. But they lose it also very fast. You have to sit down. While the Western people take time because of complications. But they settle down very well. This is a difference. हाँ आया? ठंडक आ रही हाथ में?